Mr. Abdullaev, thanks so much for joining us this evening. Could you explain why women specifically are now being targeted as for suicide bombings in the North Caucasus?
Well, they have been targeted as potential recruits from the very beginning, since 2000, and one of the reasons that they are being targeted is that these tactics work, because the inclusion of women in terrorist attacks and terrorist plan immediately raises the media profile of these attacks, of this warfare, and actually this is what terrorists are fighting for, the publicity, and with media, with female suicide bombers, they get a lot of it. And from the very beginning, unlike in other causes that use female as suicide bombers, the Chechen terrorists started using them from the very beginning and established themselves as a high-value franchise, and there is no sense for them to kind of deconstruct it and lose it. That's why they continue recruiting women now in Dagestan and deploying them as suicide bombers.
And what factors have led you to argue that organizations and not individual spontaneous acts of despair are the primary causes of women engaging in suicide bombings?
The fact that the female suicide bombers were used as members of the bigger teams, members of the bigger terrorist plots, like attack against Beslan School in 2004, or the attack against the Moscow Musical Theater Dubrovka in 2002, where 19 female suicide bombers participated as members of one team. It definitely suggests that there was an organizational plot behind this whole attack, rather than someone managed to spontaneously use these 19 female suicide bombers in one place at one time.
Finally, what strategies have Russian security forces been using to tackle the threat from these female suicide bombers?
I can distinguish three main strategies. One is hunting down those individuals or groups that can be described as bearers of certain skills and knowledges that help recruit, prepare, and send female suicide bombers on missions. Another government approach will be creating certain stability and strengthening the state on the conflict territories, like it happened in Chechnya. The potential for exercising of police control over the territory by Ramzan Kadyrov, who is Moscow's strongman in control of Chechnya, is enormous. And thus he, on one hand, provides serious economic incentives not to go into the forest and join terrorist groups, because there is massive money injections into Chechnya. And on the second, he threatens really serious punishment for engaging in terrorist attacks, not just individual punishment. And this is the third strategy, the government strategy to undercut the suicide bombings. It's collective responsibility. There are recorded cases, recorded evidences by human rights group in which family members of the suspected terrorists or real terrorists have been subjected to kidnappings, harassment, torture at the hand of the pro-Moscow local police and security forces. And perhaps I believe that these three main approaches helped the government to quell this phenomenon significantly after the Beslan attack.